Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we have two new Tecto knives. This is the Tecto Alpha. We have the Alpha 1 and the Alpha 2 or something like that. They're both Alpha knives from Tecto. Anyways, the price difference is by like $10 or $20, something like that. We're going to go over that here in just a minute. I do have a couple issues with the knife, but let's go over some of the good details. The good details are, it's a simple, somewhat affordable knife. I guess you could consider somewhat in the budget range, especially for knives made in the USA. And it is assembled in the USA with overseas parts and locally sourced parts. So, it is assembled there in Portland, Maine, USA, but, it's not 100% USA. The parts are sourced. I do like, though, that it is at least assembled in the USA, D2 steel, somewhat of a straight back blade, almost a drop point, but it's more of a straight back than a drop point. Big belly, straight handle, so it's going to be pretty neutral either direction in your hand. Liner lock action. Great flipping action on this one. We'll go into this one here in a second. But yeah, fantastic flipping action, fantastic detent, and the drop on it is really, really smooth. Very, very smooth. The access to the lock bar is good. No problems with that. They give you a little bit of traction on it. And then the carbon fiber is done very well on this one too. You can see the cross-cut section on the edges. It's a good-looking carbon fiber, and they look like they did a good job on it. Carbon fiber can be a little bit difficult to work with for some companies, and they get voids and things like that. I don't see any of that. They did a pretty good job on the carbon fiber. You do have a glass breaker here in the back. And yeah, very simple design. Deep carry clip, not in set, but it does have flat screws. I have no doubt that it doesn't work, pretty good. But let's talk about some negative things. So one, let's bring this one up now. This one has no detent. It's a non-existent detent. It doesn't have a detent at all. I mean, I can flip it with momentum very easily, but after feeling this one with a perfect detent, this one just, you have to snap it in order for it to deploy. And I can see that the detent is just not dropping into the hole. Because if I take this one, I can see that this one is dropping into the hole, which makes it to where this one has a detent. This one does not. But that should have been caught at the factory. This is something it should have never left the factory. They should have known that right off the bat. Right, just trying to flip it. They should have noticed this thing doesn't have a detent. But they sent this to me. So if they sent this to me, it makes me worried about what somebody's going to get buying it. Now, like I said, this one's great. But this is only two models, and one is bad. Also, aside from this not having a detent, it also has lock rock. So we have lock rock, no side to side, and this one's pretty solid. Yeah, this one's perfect. This one is a great example of probably what they can do and what this model could be. But this one is a poor example, and has everything that's good about this one is not on this one. So next is this glass breaker. They put right in the spot where it's going to go into your palm when you flip. I mean, why? I don't understand that. Like, just because you can put a glass breaker on a knife doesn't mean you should, especially if it's going to be at the sacrifice in your hand. Now, obviously, I can put it to the side to flip it, or this side when I flip it. I can avoid it, so it's not that big of a deal, but I would just prefer to not be there at all because, it does poke you in the hand a little bit when you're, palming it to flip it. So that would be considered a negative thing. The next thing, the price. Let's talk about the price. It's not like crazy, the price, and I understand it's assembled in the USA, which does cost something, but take that out of it, you can get the same knife for $20 from China, and I understand that we're not China, I get that, but this is my point. Not that much more right? Like $20, you can get something that's very consistent, on point from China, and then this is going to be $120, so $100 more for the same exact thing. That's tough to sell to somebody, especially when there's 100% USA made knives they could get for the same price, with better steel. And we already know D2 is not a great steel for production knives. In many cases, it's not done well. So considering that you have a really good chance the D2 is not going to be great. Now, I don't know about their D2. I haven't tested it. But I'm just saying, though, I would almost put money, I'd almost wager that's probably not done very well, considering we rarely ever see D2 done well. Now, I think a steel, they should have picked a better steel choice, because people are about done with D2. Most people realize that D2 is not what we thought it was, and, yeah. So the price is a little bit too hefty. It's a little bit too outrageous for what you're getting. These should be under $100 built, even assembled in the USA. These should be under $100. There's no reason why these are $120, $130, $140. Hopefully they take what I'm saying and just better their product. I say it for those reasons. I'm only trying to help, and I hope they look at it that way. But anyways, there you guys go. Just a quick look at them. I don't like to be a negative Nancy or anything, but, the company did send this to me, and, I want to be as honest as possible about it, but it's not one I could recommend at all. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.